Hello Darklings! So today I wanted to talk about some of my favorite short horror stories that can kind of get you in the mood for Halloween as part of my Halloween specials videos for the month of October. So the first one that I would suggest, which is a novella, not precisely a short story, it's about 60 pages, which would be Sheridan Le Fanu's Carmilla. Another one that I also highly recommend, and it's one of his less popular ones, but still one that I ended up loving, was H.P. Lovecraft's Pickman's Model. Another one of his great ones would be The Thing on the Doorstep or Rats in the Walls, in addition to any of his classics such as Color Out of Space or The Dunwich Horror. Another great one, and considered one of the scariest ghost stories of all time, and when I read it when I was 8, it did kind of make me unnerved, was Charlotte Gilman's The Yellow Wallpaper, which I was first introduced to through this. Another one that was introduced to me by this and also by R.L. Stine's slight retelling in his short collection called Beware, which was The Judge's House, which I think is one of his better short fictions. Another great one, which I was definitely introduced to as a child as well, and was kind of be careful what you wish for, a cautionary tale, which would be W.W. Jacobs' The Monkey's Paw. Another one that is a little bit longer, again, it's closer to novella length than short story, which would be John Polidori's The Vampyre, which is, of course, a classic Gothic short story. And then another one, and actually anything in this book I would highly recommend, even though it's a very peculiar reading, which would be anything out of the Bloody Chamber, but in this case, her most famous work, Angela Carter's The Company of Wolves, which was also, coincidentally, adapted into a 1980s movie by Neil Jordan. Another great one introduced to me through this peculiar short story collection book that I picked up at a used bookstore, Vampires, Wine and Roses, which is Ray Bradbury's The Homecoming. Although if you really want to get into the Halloween spirit, I do highly recommend just reading Something Wicked This Way Comes. The Homecoming is kind of a fun one because it features a family of vampires and witches and ghosts and whatnot all gathering for Halloween partying. If you also wanted to get some other additional short story Halloween ideas, I picked this up from Barnes & Noble. They're pretty leather bound. Classic horror stories. It's separated by author, including things from Edgar Allan Poe, such as Mask of the Red Death, my personal favorite. The Black Cat, my childhood wonderful nightmare fuel. Sheridan Le Fanu's Shocklin the Painter. And Robert Louis Stevenson's The Body Snatcher. And Algernon Blackwell's The Wendigo. So this is another really fun collection. If you end up liking anything from M.R. James, who's considered one of the greatest American ghost storytellers, I do recommend A Warning for the Curious. You can get this on Amazon used for about $1, which I believe is where I came across this copy. So these are just some examples of short story collections that I like having around, because sometimes short stories are all you have time for, and they can really get you into the Halloween spirit, and it's a good way to kind of explore your horror story horizons. These are just a few smaller examples that will be listed in the description, or at least the ones that I wasn't showing the books of. So try and read at least one or two of these stories over the month of October to kind of get you into the mood and the spirit of Halloween. It's a bit of a shorter video, but until next time, Darklings.